a business side of things, I'm seeing how AI is helping us bridge this even communication gap between a cybersecurity technical person and a business leader.
AI is only as good as the data it's trained on. When implementing AI tools, proper leadership is critical.
Think about using AI for security. Where do I start? Which path do you recommend I should go? It's all about the skill sets that you have acquired in your previous career, and now you're seeing interest in cybersecurity. So get certified, read a lot. Like, you have to read significantly into what's really happening, what's the trend, what does that mean? Good afternoon, everyone, and thank you for joining myself and Natalia for this session. Maybe I wish, and I am currently the go-to-market director for cybersecurity at Calian. I previously worked at Microsoft, worked at the Microsoft partners like Ingram Micro, and I had a diverse of experience across cybersecurity, IT, infrastructure, acquisition, and looking forward to spend the next 30 minutes with you. Over to you, Natalia.
Hello, so my name is Natalia. I am currently Identity and Access Management Senior Architect at a global consulting company. And previously, I also worked at Microsoft in consulting and several other consulting companies such as Deloitte. But originally, I come from academical background and I am in mathematics.
Sounds great. So, Natalia, today in our discussion, as we were thinking about and preparing together what we should talk about, I'm thinking about some few questions that we're gonna both respond to it and provide the audience with our perspectives of it. The first one I would be like, do you agree that AI is now central to modern cybersecurity? And how are you seeing this play out in our day-to-day when you see it at work?
So my take on this is that AI becomes increasingly important for cybersecurity. I wouldn't say it's now the central, but it's an integral part that cannot be taken away anymore. So anyone who wants to build a robust career in cybersecurity has to know the tools, both offensive and defensive. Otherwise, AI would come for your job.
Totally. So I actually agree with that. And when I think about it from different lens. Like in my job, I can think about from a go-to-market perspective. AI is helping me do my job better. It helped me in my day-to-day tasks. So from a productivity perspective, it's helping me big time. It's helping me build the strategies, refine my thoughts as well, and also help me learn if there's anything that may be deeper technical than my existing knowledge. And I don't come from a deep technical background or like I'm not in cybersecurity by trade. I have a background in pharmacy and biotechnology, so completely different. So I don't come from a tech background, but I did study and build my technical capabilities when I joined Microsoft, learning Azure and learning the different domains of it. And what I found is from a SOC analyst or an incident responders, one of the things that I have seen AI is essentially it made their job better. From a detection perspective, they're faster. The efficiency at even focusing on the complex triaging versus just looking at false positive and all the noise and the anomalies detection. So their job has become more efficient and easier. So that's from a deep technical perspective that I'm seeing. From a business side of things, I'm seeing how AI is helping us bridge this even communication gap between a cybersecurity technical person and a business leader. We can help translate what the thoughts and the objectives they're trying to reach to a business leader.
I totally agree on this, but if somebody comes to me and asks, what do I need to learn first? If I want to start in cybersecurity, is it AI? I would still say there are those main principles like confidentiality, availability, integrity, encryption, mm, minimum privilege principle. So people should
Yeah.
start with those. And then, depending on how technical they may be, they may go into operating systems or they may go into some legal. And after this, they would have better understanding what kind of AI tools they would need to
Mhm.
assist in their development. But they shouldn't start with just ChatGPT and hope that it would solve all their problems and get them their first spot stock or uh, elsewhere.
Yeah, absolutely. In fact, when I was at Microsoft, one of the things that Microsoft launched was the AI Business School, and it was all about the principles of using AI in an organization. So before implementing AI, looking at all the six principles of AI, looking at learning AI generally before you actually pick a domain to focus on, and then layer it on to your technical domain, whether it's cybersecurity, it's data, and all these other IT domains. So totally. Okay, so now we're an event for women in cybersecurity. So from your perspective and your view, what unique value do women bring to an AI powered cybersecurity leadership?
So from certain events in AI field, we can see that AI is only as good as the data it was trained on. So that means that if cybersecurity is historically a male-dominated field, um, most of the training data comes from this background. So what women can definitely contribute is uh, more training data based on successful careers, but also maybe based on certain things that in hindsight could go better because we all study on our own mistakes. And if AI can help with that, that would be also great.
Yeah. I think the first thing that we should all acknowledge that we do have a gap in women representation in cybersecurity leadership, AI or non-AI. I think we do have a gap already, and there's millions of jobs already that are still unfilled. So the reality is the opportunity exists for everyone to build up their skills and actually pursue these roles. Um, non-cybersecurity maybe comment, I would say that we as women sometimes struggle with the confidence to apply for a job or confidence to say, okay, if I don't fit all the criteria of this role, then I won't go for it. And that is something we need to work on. That yes, maybe we lack one area about a role. It's totally normal that we apply for the role and build a plan to close the gap from a skill set perspective. So that's maybe something that we want to think about. And when I think of cybersecurity leadership, it does bring a different perspective. I already mentioned I came from, I think my entire career was all about skill stacking, different skills, different areas, and that allowed me to see things from a different perspective. When I am working with engineering, when I am working with business leader, when I am working with a CISO, with a CIO, these different perspectives creates the balance in the all up view instead of sometimes, and it helps again close this gap of challenges than the rest of the organization where there's other departments that see it as cybersecurity is like the blocker for us, or we're unable to do this. They don't really understand the value that cybersecurity could bring to a brand. Customers trust a brand sometimes because of their cybersecurity, this is where the AI ethics and AI policy becomes in very critical for us as well.
So I agree that when implementing AI tools, proper leadership is critical because let's say that AI tool doesn't behave as it should, and nobody wants to tell it to the upper management. Like in a sense, the king's new dress, and nobody dares to say that the dress doesn't exist. One example is one big cloud company implementing candidate filtering tool, which turned out to have bias towards the candidates that have been previously hired, which again refers to men that graduate from certain universities. So the
No.
tool, instead of empowering diversity, became a diversity blocker. And
Yeah.
luckily, there were people who took leadership and that brought this problem. And that is, as a result, this particular tool has been discontinued.
Yeah, I'm glad it's discontinued. I read an article too on the same topic, like very similar, of how some AI facial detection tools have actually increased the rejection by I think 100% for any diverse candidates and diverse individuals. So there are challenges, and I think that's where the opportunity is. With all these challenges, we need to come in. AI for us is new. It's like when cloud first started, the difference is the pace of AI taking over and the willingness for everyone wants to adopt it is high. However, we need to support and continue to create these guardrails, whether for an organization, from an industry perspective, and others as well. So Natalia, let's think about this. If there's so many roles that in cybersecurity, if I'm new in the cybersecurity world, or I'm trying to think about using AI for security, where do I start? Which path do you recommend I should go?
So uh, there are certain types of career that are related to emergent AI that do not require a deep background in data science or mathematics. So one thing is that I was lucky that I am PhD in mathematics. It was easy. But one example of the career that doesn't require too much mathematics would be if somebody has a background of system administrator or DevOps. In that sense, because AI mostly hosted in the cloud, that person can easily learn certain cloud specific tools and just continue with this. So because for this session we do not have presentation, we agreed that any additional links and resources as a big note would be shared in LinkedIn. And I was told by the organizers that this LinkedIn profile should be available in my speaker profile. So some other examples include uh, stock analyst, but AI empowered. So with knowledge of AI tools, with knowledge of how they can be used.
Mhm.
And another, of course, like managerial paths, because AI can also help in resources allocation, in recommending what kind of engineer or what kind of consultant can be a better match for a particular project. In my company, we already use those tools.
Mhm.
So that is like the least technical path, I would say. So just to be a good uh, uh, people person, so to say, and use AI to further refine your guesses or like assist.
Got it. Yeah. And I would add to this, I would say there's other paths as well, like an AI policy advisor. There is like a AI governance, AI policy maker. I actually came across a fellowship in the US for AI policy maker. I will post this on LinkedIn. If anyone is interested to apply for this fellowship, it's for 3 months. And it is a path that you might want to pursue. And it is a path in the cybersecurity. I'm not aware of any like specific, let's say, assessment or something that define where you want to go. I would say always starts with the foundations. It's something that I've learned at Microsoft. there's fundamentals exams and certification for everything. Like they have security compliance 900, which is 900 is a foundation. They have AI 900. They have data fundamentals 900, all on the Microsoft Learn platform, and it's free. Google offers the same as well, but these I'm very familiar with the Microsoft courses, given that I've worked there. That would be a starting point, I would say. And there's multiple modules that is cybersecurity embedded in AI, and it allow you to introduce to cybersecurity and AI. It is not. One thing I would say, this is not something that you would do overnight. And I will share with you a story. The first time I sort of got deep into AI, into cybersecurity, was the Microsoft. I was um, I was tasked with a project before Christmas, and I wasn't really deep at that time, and I had to do a lot of studying. And I had an option to say, "Oh, that's not my domain. I don't know." And I would get scared, and that's where the confidence comes in. And I said, "No, I am going to take this challenge, and I do want to build my skill set, and I want to learn." And I spent some time, a lot, like probably spent the entire Christmas studying at the time. Not the best advice for people from a work-life balance. And I came back. I started building up. I started connecting with mentors, connecting with different engineers. And it was a journey for me. And that's where, and then I worked on the well-architected framework for cybersecurity, cloud adoption framework for cybersecurity. And I looked at my existing skill sets as the foundation for me to allow me to bring a different view for cybersecurity from a customer perspective, even from an organization, and how to adopt different practices, connect cloud, connect AI, and put all of this together from a package perspective and a go-to-market and an execution, even from a delivery standpoint. Is there any certification, Natalia, that you have seen that would you recommend?
So from technical perspective, I believe all major cloud vendors have certifications, and they go pretty much side by side. For example, Microsoft has a data engineer specification, and I believe some AI fundamentals. Same
Yeah.
with AWS, and Google has also two certifications, machine learning professional and data engineer professional.
Yes.
Oracle went further away, and they have several very specific certifications. For example, an engineer that designs augmented generation, so-called RAG, in vector databases.
Yeah.
So very narrow, but from my point, relatively easy, of course, for someone who has background with Oracle databases. And if we speak about the less technical, there is this IFPP, so that summit that I believe started yesterday. So they have AI governance certification
Mhm.
for a while, which doesn't require technical background, but rather, I believe, maybe a bit of legal or a bit of compliance.
Yeah. And there, one of the questions that are coming in, and I will read it because I think it's very interesting. Do you think that all tier one SOC jobs will be made redundant in the near future? So, what is your thoughts on this, Natalia?
I believe that it's about time that tier one SOC jobs will be made redundant because they're boring, to be honest. Uh, so what excites me about SOC jobs is that the ability to investigate. And here AI can be a great helper. So instead of doing some routine tasks like connect to this server, search something in logs, so then copy paste this file to some other server, and then copy paste it to some Jira ticket, that would be all done by AI.
Yeah.
So for the human, there is some intellectual task, maybe to look in different threat intelligence sources and understand how bad is something that is actually happening. Because AI, depending on how you engineer the prompt, it can say it's awfully bad or maybe it's not awfully bad. So context is the weak point of AI.
I completely agree. So I joined Calian close to a year, like we're still a few months away from a year. And I joined them at a time of complete transformation. So part of it was transforming their entire cybersecurity SOC and managed services. And essentially partnering, they announced partnership with Microsoft along with other providers as well. And one of the first thing that we did, we automated level one completely from jobs perspective. What I'm looking at actually from a go-to-market perspective, and I see this is the opportunity, is the new agents. So there's number of AI agents that are created under cybersecurity portfolio for Microsoft to really help with the SOC analysts do their job better, whether from triaging, getting like completing all the tickets and all the incidents. So the analysts just focus on the ones that are complex and going back there, seeing trends, providing telemetry. So that for me is quite interesting. So as much as it, yes, it will go away. So if you are a SOC level one and a level one analyst, it may not be good news today, but the opportunity for you is much bigger for you to think about like outside the box. What's next level for you? We have another question as well, which is what advice would you give to someone transitioning into cybersecurity from a different field, say something as vastly as different as accounting, especially if they don't have an AI or coding background? I'm gonna take this question because this is near and dear to my heart. I said already that I don't come from even IT background when I joined IT, uh, and uh, and it is probably vastly different coming from a scientific background. Starting in cybersecurity, I would say I would go back to the answer that I mentioned earlier. It starts with the basics and don't undermine the experience that you've already got from accounting because it's all about the skill sets that you have acquired in your previous career and now you're seeing interest in cybersecurity. So get certified, read a lot. Like you have to read significantly into what's really happening, what's the trend, what does that mean? Stay curious. Like one of the things that really helped me is always staying curious. When I hear something at an event or I hear something in a meeting that maybe on a deep technical meeting, I would go and research it and try to understand it very well. I will engage myself with in technical meetings and engineering and ask them and get to learn from them. So I would say start by pursuing a foundational certification across AI, across cybersecurity, like the ones that Natalia and I mentioned. That would give you this comfort of sometimes we have, especially if you don't come from a technical background, we have this fear of, oh, I can't really do it, or no, you can. Everyone can. If you have the tenacity and you have the will and you've made this decision, you definitely can take a certification and you can find yourself even, oh, I'm really interested. I want to move to the next level of security, or I'm more interested in data. I want to become more in the data field. Whatever you feel you're getting more, I would say, you're finding your passion. You will find your passion as you go there. So to summarize, because I know this was a long-winded answer, I would say start with a foundation certification and then identify which one is really aligning with you. What is the role you want to go into? Is it a SOC analyst? Is it an incident responder? And then build a plan for all the different certification. Find a mentor in the field. Find the role models that maybe you follow online, you learn from, engage with different communities, read a lot, and hopefully you will grow your career. Natalia, over to you. What do you think?
I would say that the person who doesn't come from technical background should decide if they actually want to go technical or not, because there is a whole area called compliance or GRC, governance, risk management, and compliance, that relies on a very familiar for accountant tools such as Excel, such as some kind of tool where you put the list of the risks and then you try to understand how relevant those risks are for a particular company, or in case of compliance, there is some kind of standard like ISO standard, like all those emergent standards for AI, like NIST AI risk framework, and then you are trying to understand what has been implemented in particular company and what not. And in
Yes.
that case, there could be probably some certifications like certified auditor, I think it's called certified information security auditor, doesn't require a lot of technical knowledge. Even so, it's a bit expensive from my point of view. So I would start by maybe trying to get an internship. And once you realize that, yes, I don't want to go technical, I'm happy in compliance, then maybe you can get your certification through the company.
Yeah, that's a great perspective, and I love that you mentioned internships. I think I was looking at potential programs for and I found Microsoft Cybersecurity and Certification Scholarship for Women in Cloud. I found Google's Women Tech Makers program as well. So these are, and reach out to us on LinkedIn. We're happy to provide these information. We have another question. I'm going to read it for you as well, Natalia. How can cybersecurity newcomers leverage knowledge to stand out in the job market, coming from a nursing background and currently in the cybersecurity course?
So my take on it, there is a big niche, the compliance of wearables that are for medicals, like even that mere like smartwatch that measures my heart rate and things, at some point needs to be cybersecurity certified. So as a nurse, there is a knowledge of what those devices can and cannot do. So what is missing? Just learning some standards and then trying to go through some communities, some mentors, and get the above mentioned internship.
Yeah,
And that
that,
way, hands-on experience with particular devices, hands-on experience working with the manufacturers. And I believe that's a great start because we are at the beginning of setting of those standards. I worked with a group who was trying to create one of those first standards. And so yet they are not mandatory for everyone, but as we go along, I believe they will become mandatory. There will be a lot of work.
yeah, that's actually great. And especially like nursing, so you're coming from healthcare. The industry context for cybersecurity, I think we still have a lot of work to do, especially in healthcare. The data privacy, the use of AI by doctors to transcribe when patients are in the room or like even taking notes. All of these things are you know the industry, you know what's happening from a patient perspective and providing this better patient care. And I think adding the cybersecurity layer, you essentially with this course, I would say the way you're standing out is you're going to speak both languages. So you will be able to give the patient the confidence that your data is safe, that the use of AI is not like there's no discrimination. You will be able to identify these gaps that you have seen as a nurse in the healthcare. And at the same time, back to closing the gap, you would be able to connect with the doctors, you would be able to help the cybersecurity team when you land a job connect with the rest of the departments and get the buy-in on the importance of doing this from an all-up perspective. And the wearables, totally, I totally agree. The wearables is a great start as well, especially with the data that is being collected through these wearables is a great it's a great opportunity for us to advance and do a lot of other things from what we can like from a data mining perspective.
The main advice still, so try to find a mentor. So go into the community and try to find someone who does what you would like to do, and try to understand how did they get there. Most of the time, people are happy to talk about it.
Yeah, we have 1 minute. We got the heads up that our time is almost up. Any final thoughts, Natalia?
I believe so. Any other subsequent questions? Again, I would be happy to answer in messages and LinkedIn, and especially interesting questions I will uh, post as in my newsfeed, of course, with the permission of whoever asked.
I echo your sentiment. Same applies to me. Please reach out for anything. And I would say, like, if we find a mentor, that's what Natalia mentioned. Your profile is important. Find groups, read a lot, take certification, and above all, be confident that you can do it. Don't hold back. You can do it. It's don't let the internal narrative take over. Have the confidence, and definitely you will accomplish whatever you put your head into.
So now we are
Natalia?
out of time, I guess.
Yes. Yeah, thank you so much. And thank you everyone for joining us today. We hope you found your time with us helpful and valuable, and looking forward to seeing you in other events. Thank you. Thank you, Natalia, for joining me today.
Thank you for interesting discussion.
Thank you.